Hey everyone, welcome to Random Acts Conversation. I'm Big J.
I'm Charlie Knight.
Today we're going to talk about horror movie deaths, from gruesome ones to ones that we're just kind of confused and don't know what the hell to react. I got 6 movie deaths. How many do you have?
4.
Okay, do you want me to go first?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. First one is I'd say it's one of my favorites. It's in the category of hell yeah, kind of like hell yeah. It's the Friday the 13th Part 7 sleeping bag death. It's a big death with the fans. A lot of people love it. It's Kane Hodder's first time in the mask, and basically what he does is he takes a girl who's in the sleeping bag, and with one big strike, slams her against a tree, and it's just a big gush of blood on the sleeping bag, and he slams her back down, and just sees that he just took out of them, and it was really, really hard. What they did originally was, it was like 4 or 5 whaps, and they just cut to the one. But it was one of my favorite scenes. One of my favorite deaths.
It sounds gross.
It's not that gross.
It sounds gross to me.
Okay.
Because didn't you say that you can see her in half?
What they only show is like her top part, like from her face up. You don't actually see it, but you get it's implied basically.
Okay. Well, I have two of my death scenes are more like what the fuck, and like you don't know what to do after you watch it.
Yeah.
And then 2 of them are like just gruesome, and to where you can't even watch it because it's just so, like, not necessarily even gory, but just creepy.
Yeah.
It gives you the chills, kind of. But one of my gruesome scenes is from the new Evil Dead. It was 2013, right?
Yeah, it's the remake.
Jessica Lucas's character, Olivia, she was the, what was her character actually in the movie? Was she like the best friend?
Yeah, she was the best friend.
And wasn't she like the ex-girlfriend of her brother or whatever? Or something like that?
I don't remember that part. I think they had a thing, but I don't think they were ex-girlfriend.
But anyway, her death scene whenever she's in the bathroom, and when she first goes in there, she like looks in the mirror and she's already kind of going like off the wall.
Oh yeah.
And she looks in the mirror and she just sees like this crazed version of herself with like blood all over the face and everything, and she freaks out. And then I know she had a syringe in her hand. She was like getting a syringe out.
Yeah,
was she getting it for the sister? Or
yeah, she was getting her dose,
yeah,
so she could sleep from that.
And then it kind of goes away to the one guy with the glasses. I don't know his name, but he
Eric,
comes.
I think. Was that the main character's name? Eric?
No, it's the stupid ass that actually like opened the book.
Oh yeah.
The one with the glasses.
Oh, the one who actually conjures all the stuff because he's not supposed to read it, but he does the whole sketch.
Yeah, the dumbass. He walks in the bathroom and she's over in the corner and the lights are kind of dimmed, and I think it might be like blinking like in and out or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's already like really creepy. And she's over in the corner just doing something. You just see her arm moving, and then he gets a little closer. And she turns around, and her eyes are just so creepy. They're like this goldish, like, oh, I don't even know. They're just so creepy looking. And she turns around, and there's just like blood all over her mouth. And she has a piece of glass in her hands, and she's like cutting her mouth, kind of like how Joker has it.
Yeah. She's
cutting her mouth like that, and he just is like, what the fuck? And he slips on a piece of skin that's on the bathroom floor, and he falls back. And she, like, creepily gets on top of him and starts stabbing him in his eye with a syringe just over and over and over again, like crazy. And then eventually he, like, pushes her off or something, and she hits her head against the sink, and then she hits her head against the shower bottom or whatever. And I don't even think she died then. She thinks she was still alive.
Yeah.
And then he kicks her face or something?
He kicks her face. And then he takes the part of the sink and bashes her head in.
Yes.
That was in my most gruesome scenes also, or one of my how do I describe it? Oh fucks. It's one of my oh fucks because I have 2 oh fucks. 2 hell yeahs, and 2 what the fuck. So, but that was one of my oh fucks, and that was a scene that made me just. I love horror movies. I've seen dozens upon dozens upon dozens. That was the first ever to make me sweat and breathe heavy. That was the very first one to do that to me.
It creeped me the fuck out. She did really good. She did really good with that.
Oh yeah.
The actress.
Yeah, that entire movie had great actors and actresses in it. Since we're speaking about Evil Dead, I'm gonna go with one of my what the fucks. It is where the main character, which I don't remember his name, finds out that he has to. One of the ways to rid a person of evil or a demonic spirit is to set them on fire or to resurrect them. They die and come back. And he basically decides, he's not going to burn her, so he suffocates her, builds his own defibrillator from a car battery and some other shit, which I don't know how the fuck he does, since he's only supposed to be a mechanic, but I'll buy it. But it was still kind of, what the fuck? He just, assembles all the shit. It's like, assemble defibrillators. And then he suffocates her. Oh, no, he buries her alive. That's what he does. He buries her alive, and then he unburies her, and then defibrillates her and brings her back to life. And then the demonic spirit is rid from her body.
Magic.
Yeah. I was kind of like, what the fuck? Seriously? It's only a complaint I had with that movie, but it was just a what the fuck kind
That movie was, I loved it.
I thought it
was great. It was really creepy to me.
I liked her whenever she, the car landed on her arm and she had to snap it off.
Yeah.
I loved that. I don't know what the fuck that thing was crawling after her, but it was.
Oh my gosh. Wasn't it the thing from the book that he read about when he made it all come to life?
Yeah, the whole thing is it had to have 5 souls, and it already corrupted the main girls and the rest of the 4 people, basically. And then it would start to rain blood, and then this creature would emerge from the earth, and then basically it chases after Mariah, which I think her name is.
It was creepy.
Oh, yeah. I still think it's a good movie.
It is good. I really liked it.
But that took care of one of my what the fucks. Do you want to go or you want me to go with another one?
Go ahead. You have more than I do.
Another one of my oh fucks, kind of like one of those gruesome scenes, is from Saw 7. Saw 3D was nicknamed, where Chester Bennington's character played a street punk, and in the scene he had his back super glued or industrial glued to a car seat, and his friends were in some, I think, a trash compactor, or they had some tires and they're getting leaned forward too. Basically what he had to do was rip his skin off the seat and pull a lever to save his friends, and they just slowly see the skin ripping off the seat. It's just gruesome to watch. I mean, I've seen all the Saws, all 6, the first 6. I really wasn't unnerved by any of those. None of them surprised me. It was kind of yeah, okay. This one, it was just completely flabbergasted. I was just what the fuck?
I haven't seen very many of them, but from some of the death scenes I can remember, they were definitely very creative.
Oh yeah, all of them
very
were pretty
creative.
Why don't you go with another one yours?
I'll do my next gruesome scene, which is from a movie that I haven't even seen all of. I've only seen parts of it. But Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Okay. Which one is that? Is that Dream Warners?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But I don't know her last name, but I think it might be Stevens or something, but her first name is Debbie. That's all I can remember is her name being Debbie. But she starts off working out on, what do you call it, bench press?
Yeah,
or whatever.
Press.
Yeah. And she's doing reps or whatever you call them, and Freddy ends up appearing behind her, and he just kind of pushes on the bar or whatever, and it he pushes it so far that it snaps her elbows, and her bones just pop out of both bones just pop out, and then she gets up and she I don't know what you call this.
Snaps her arms back.
She just puts her arms back. They just flop back, and they break that way. And then all out of nowhere, these like bug legs or I don't even know, but some type of bug legs or something like come out of her arms.
Oh.
And to where her arms are just completely like a bug, like a big giant ant leg or something.
Ugh.
And then she goes through like some hallway or something, and then she ends up falling on this like orange sticky stuff, which come to find out she's in like a bug trap for ants or something. And she ends up falling on it, and her face falls on it, and she just screams really loud, and then her head just like melts or something, and then it just becomes a bug. Like she just completely entirely becomes this bug, this weird looking bug. And then Freddy is just holding this bug trap in his hand, and he just squishes it. He just squishes her like a bug, and then she's dead.
Damn.
Yeah.
I've only seen a few Friday the 13th. Nightmare on Elm Street, so...
It's really mostly, it's not even mostly the fact that he squishes her. It's more of whenever her arms break, and then they break forward like that just, ugh. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of those, it's hard to look at.
I don't think I'd like the part where her face is melting either. I have a thing about melting faces. I don't really like them. Or melting body parts. It's just not my thing. Hack someone up. Just don't melt on them. I don't know. I wouldn't be watching that movie after I saw that. I'm like, oh, next channel. Like, I have 2 left. How many do you have left? 1?
2.
2? Okay. I'll go with another one of my what the fucks. It's not like questioning it, it's like, what the fuck? Like, I know it's possible, but I don't know, there's so much in the scene where they could have done that, in the movie, they could have helped him out more. Not what he does at the end. It's the Saw 2 crematorium scene, where the guy crawls, Obi, which is kind of funny, because he, right when they pick up the letter from Jigsaw, or the tape from Jigsaw off a body, it says Obi on it. And one guy goes, Abi? And then the character, Obi, says, no, it's Abi. And then Jigsaw calls it Obi. So the 2 people had it one way. The one guy says his name a different one. I thought it was kind of funny. I don't know why. Basically, he crawls into... Basically, Abi crawls into the crematorium to get a serum or a vaccination. And, he gets in there, and he pulls off the first one. It's for him. The second one is wrapped with a chain wrapped around it. He pulls it, the crematorium door shuts, and all of a sudden the flame starts up. And then in the little tape message it says, only the devil will help you in hell. Or something like it. And he looks across, and just above the flames where they just started is a little crank of the devil's face, a finger saying, twist this way to turn the gas off. So he has to go through the flames to turn it off. But if he breathes, the fire will get in his lungs, and his lungs will, immediately shrivel up, and he'll be dead within seconds. Or burn alive. Or go and turn off the switch. He tries it once or twice. Not really much, just kind of, flames, flames, and then, nope, he's stuck right there. So he tries to go out the other way. And they try to get him out as much as they can, but they break the little glass window, and he pops out. Both serums are in his left hand. He gets his right arm and his head out, and then the rest, he burns alive right there, half hanging out of the machine. And then he dies. So it's kind of like, what the fuck? Like, you could have done more, but he died like that. I also thought that was kind of weird, because, seriously, who has a fucking crematorium in their house? The whole Saw 2 was about them being trapped in the house, so. Okay. Now that I'm done messing that up, why don't you go with your other one?
Okay, so the only 2 scenes that I have left are my what the fuck scene. I'll start off with what I think is the better, or the bigger what the fuck,
Okay.
which is Ryan Reynolds in Buried, where he is a U.S. truck driver and in Iraq, and I guess he gets kidnapped. I don't really remember. He gets kidnapped somehow by Iraqis and buried alive in a coffin with a lighter and a cell phone, I think. And so the entire movie, it might be a little difficult for a lot of people to watch. It's very slow, even though you're kind of sitting on the edge of your seat because you're kind of wondering what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
It is him the entire time in the coffin, and it's just him. You don't ever see anybody else. You hear other people's voices that he's talking to on his cell phone, but that's about it. But anyway, I don't remember the details about why they kidnapped him or any of that, but he ends up talking to a detective on the cell phone, and the detective, towards the end, where he pretty much dies, or the screen just pretty much goes black, you're assuming that he's dead, because he would be in the situation. But anyway, he's on the phone with a detective, and the detective somehow had talked to the kidnappers, and they told him where he was. So they call him and they tell him, we're on the way to get you, or whatever. And at this point it had been, I don't know exactly how long it had been. I can't remember. Wish I could remember more about it. But
wish you could watch it, because it sounded, the first time you explained it to me, it sounded really interesting.
Yeah. It's the ending that gets you. But anyway, so while he's in this coffin, there's sand pouring in all from the top. There's like holes in the top, and there's just sand pouring in the entire time. And towards the end, when he's on the phone with the detective is on his way or whatever, he's pretty much like almost to the top, to where he's like about dead. If he doesn't get there soon and get him out of the coffin, he's gonna die. And yeah, and earlier in the movie, the detective had told him about some guy that this had happened to named Mark White or something like that, and I'm pretty sure that he told him that he did rescue him, and he kept telling him that he's going to get him out of the coffin, he is going to save him, and all this. Well, anyway, at the end, when he's on his way, Ryan Reynolds' character, Paul, I believe, calls his mom. He hangs up with the detective guy, calls his mom. When he's almost out of breath, the sand is like right by his mouth. And he calls his mom and talks to her and tells her that he's coming home, and she's freaking out because she just saw something on the news or whatever. And he ends up getting off the phone with her, and the detective calls back, and he's like, "We're right here. We're pretty much we're digging you up or whatever. We're almost there. Yeah. And his character's like, thank you, or something like that. And then he gets to a point where he can't even like hold the phone anymore. And so the phone just kind of lays there, and his character, all you can see is like the top of Ryan Reynolds' face and the top of the coffin where his face is, and that's all you can see. Everything else is dark. It's like pitch black. So the guy on the phone is like, we're here, and then it just goes silent, and the sand is still pouring into the coffin, and Ryan Reynolds' character is just like, what? You know, like, what's going on? And he's just like, he led us to Mark White's body. And Ryan Reynolds just doesn't say anything, or Paul just doesn't say anything, and the detective just goes, I'm so sorry. And then it goes black, just as the sand reaches the top of his face.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's my number one what the fuck scene. And after I watched that, I was just like...
I would be like, what the fuck? Holy shit. God damn.
Well, I was crying.
Yeah.
Like, it was just so... It was such an intense moment. And it's just like, it's not what I expected at all.
Yeah.
I really thought that they were there.
That was that sounds like a giant ass twist.
And it just really makes you think, too.
Yeah.
About that happening to people.
I hate to be buried alive. It sounds really creepy to be buried alive and slowly have the sand slowly fill up around you to the point where you'd suffocate and you can't move.
Yeah.
Enough of the heebie-jeebies. I'll go on to my last one, and then I'll let you do yours. My last one is another hell yeah. Have you ever seen Jason X?
Is that the one where they're in space?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. This is the VR death, where he goes in and there's these two guys shooting this big old monster, and all of a sudden Jason appears after they kill the monster, and they shoot Jason and nothing happens. Jason walks over and cuts one of them in half, and then chops the other one's head off. And it turns out it's a VR simulation, a virtual reality simulation. So they're, everything just kind of disappears, and they're just sitting on the floor with game controllers and helmets on. They get up, and they start to attack them. And Jason basically just hits one guy, picks him up, and just drops him on his knee, and breaks the guy in half. The other guy, I think he gets his head turned around backwards. No. What they end up doing is they take him to the wall, and he smashes his head into the wall like twice, and then he falls down dead. And the best part I like more like the hell yeah part, is the part where he throws him down on his knee and just breaks his back, and the VR deaths. Because the VR deaths are pretty funny. Because when he slices the first guy in half, you can still talk. He's still talking. And when he cuts the other guy's head off, he's kind of less like, oh, screw this, end game. And then everything goes away. So that's one of my hell yeah deaths. I really like that one. Oh, I have another that just popped in my head. Do you care if I go on it? It's the Shredder supposed death at the end of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first movie, when Splinter lets go of the nunchucks, I think they are, and Shredder falls in the back of the trash truck, and Casey Jones happens to just pop the smash button or compact button, and then you just see the compactors push in. You see some of Shredder's mask get smashed, and then just ooze or blood come out. And it was really, I love that death scene. So that was another one, hell yeah. So go ahead.
My last what the fuck death scene is, it's the end of a movie. It's have you seen The Mist?
The new one?
I guess the new one. I don't remember what year it came out. I don't know.
He was the first Punisher.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that movie.
The ending.
I can't really remember the ending.
Basically, obviously there's creatures in the mist or whatever. They're in like some grocery store for most of the movie, but they get out and they get into a car. And it's that guy's character and his son. And then some woman that he met that I think they had knew before or whatever. And then I think it might have been like one other, like an older woman or an older man or something.
Yeah.
That was an elderly person, I think. Anyway, but it's at the very, very end where they're driving in the mist, and I think they run out of gas, and all that's around the car is just mist. And once you step out, you know that you're pretty much dead.
Yeah.
So the car runs out of gas, and they don't know what to do because they don't want to get out of the car because they know they're all going to die. So they have a gun, but it only has a certain amount of bullets in it to where only one person would be left. Like, without being able to kill themselves because they wouldn't have enough bullets. So the dad, that character or whatever, he ends up shooting every single person in the car, including his own son.
What?
He kills his son. And then, after realizing, he knew what he was doing. He knew he was doing it to basically make sure his son didn't have to go through a more painful death.
Yeah.
But then he was left there to deal with that of just killing his son. And so he gets out of the car and he just, like, is so mad and he, like, cries or whatever. And he's just waiting for them to attack him. He's just waiting for whatever's in the mist to kill him because he just wants to die.
Yeah.
The mist slowly starts going away. And the military, a bunch of military, like, big giant machines and stuff come out and they're there to rescue people. It's over.
Oh.
So if he would have waited just a couple more minutes, they would have been all saved. And it's just like...
That's heartbreaking.
It is. It really is. Like, it's just so...
It's fucked up,
What would you do? Like, I don't even know how you would feel in that situation. Like, it's just so crazy.
Like,
you would want to die. Like,
You probably would just want to grab one of their guns and shoot yourself in the head. But, that would... You'd have to be a strong person to deal with that.
if you would have just waited a couple minutes, then your son would be alive. You would not have just killed your son.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, it's crazy.
It hits me more because I'm a parent, so it's something just to even think about doing that, and then afterwards, just everything just disappearing, and everything's okay. It's just kind of like, what the fuck? And then I don't know. I think I'd go crazy at that point.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no
I mean, I
choice.
feel like that it's anybody.
Oh yeah.
If you didn't kill yourself, you'd just be crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, those are the death scenes. Some death scenes. Some more death scenes, because I think we've talked about death scenes before.
I think we might have. I can't really remember.
I don't know.
We do a lot of these. A few of them made it up so far. There's a couple of those we have to take care of, but well, I think we're going strong so far. Well, I think that's where we're going to leave off the episode.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks guys.
It's been fun talking about death.
Of course, it always is. Death. Yay!
Sweet dreams.
See ya.